I want to talk to the people who have a dream and are working towards that dream, but still working for somebody else because of obligations. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you've got obligations that you have to take care of right now, you've got to do what you got to do to take care of those obligations. And if that involves working for someone for a while and working on your dream part time, kudos to you, because that takes a lot of mental energy. It really does. But you're working on your dream in your spare time. And sometimes when you're working on your own dream and being your own boss and you're taking in information, you're going to workshops and seminars and podcasts and Zooms, learning how to be an independent worker, when you go back to your regular job, you start looking at things differently and you start to see certain patterns and certain behaviors that do not agree with what you've been taught by people who are successful as being independent. Don't let that interfere with your job performance. What you need to do is just to keep everything going the way it was before. Go ahead and do your job to the best of your ability as you were before. Don't let that new knowledge mess up your energy where you can't take care of your obligations. Don't let yourself get so frustrated to the point because you're seeing all these things through different eyes now. You're already becoming disillusioned to the fact that you're going to be doing this thing for a long period of time. But don't ignore the fact that you still have things that you got to take care of today. Some people that I know are working for people and they're doing it part-time and they're doing other gigs on the side independently. And what they'll do is they'll get frustrated because they realize that their part-time gig is slowly starting to substitute the salary that they're making on their paid job. Now, the correct formula is this, and I mean, this comes from various sources. You could read all the books from entrepreneurs, and they'll basically tell you the same thing. Zig Ziglar and Robert Kiyosaki and Anthony Robbins and Jim Rohn, they'll tell you, if you're working for somebody else and you're working on a dream, you got a business on the side. When you get to the point where your business on the side either equals or surpasses what your regular job is, and you've got money set aside to cover you in case of an emergency, that's when you quit your job. And what happens is people get so frustrated with their current job because they see that they're making strides, they think prematurely and they impulsively quit their regular jobs. And then slowly after that, all of a sudden the gig slows down. This type of impatience is the reason why there are a lot of people who go into business for themselves with very good products, open up a storefront, open up a website, whatever the case may be, and a year later, they're nowhere to be found. And they had a good product or service to offer because they lost patience. You look at the business owner that's been in business for more than 10 plus years, and they will tell you they came out of pocket plenty of times. That first year that they were in business, the first 2 years they were in business, they came out of pocket to support their business because they had a vision. And they can also tell you that a lot of people that were around when they started the business, the naysayers and whatnot, who didn't encourage them, they gave them a hard time. All of a sudden, 10 years later, when they're handling their business, they pop up out of the blue and they'll be the first one to say, oh, I knew you could do it. But these were the ones who laughed at them, criticized them, and everything else. You got to be careful who you have around you. And I mean, you can check out the series about leveling up because it kind of goes into detail in different audios that I give about your circle of influence and then timing and things like that. You might want to take a listen to those. But that's what happens. And some of them are so arrogant is that if they got a part-time gig going on, they'll go to the regular job and they're so busy giving their attention to the part-time gig and running their mouth about that, then they want to sit there and criticize the people that they're working for. Now, before they started this second gig, they ain't had nothing to say. Because, see, that was the only egg in the basket. But now that they got another egg in the basket, they got their ass on their shoulders and they want to talk shit. All of a sudden, they're getting written up, not coming in on time, and things like that because they have transferred all their energy over to the second gig. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with giving so much energy to that second gig. But see, this is where time management comes in. If you allot a certain amount of time to one thing and a certain amount of time to the other thing, during that time frame only is when you're supposed to give 110% to that one thing. And then when it's over, it's over. How many times have I been in meetings working for companies, and you always have those one or two that want to criticize the owner, want to criticize the management, want to criticize the shareholders, the people who built that shit. But you're collecting a paycheck every single week, and you want to sit there and talk shit about them. And we have employee meetings, and I'm sitting up there listening. I'm going to tell you what happened to me, and this was a couple years ago. I was in a meeting with somebody in regards to a business. I didn't start working with the business yet. I kind of just sat in with it. And I knew this person who started the business. And they had that one person in there that was always talking about, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. Now, mind you, this person is doing business, so they're still taking in information. They're having this little meeting with everybody else who's involved, the employees and things, to see if they can offer some input. So this person is receptive to information, and they're being very nice by allowing that to happen, because a lot of businesses don't allow employees input on how things are run. They don't. So all of a sudden this person comes in talking about you need to do this and you need to do that, and we need this and we need that, like they're the spokesperson for the other 6 people. And I'm usually the type of person, I don't say anything, especially I don't know that person that well, but that thing struck me so hard I had to say something. And by the time they got through, I asked the manager, I said, you know what, before you say anything back, I said, can I reply to that? And everybody kind of looked at me like, said, Deanna got something to say? He's like, sure, Deanna. I said, no, because I said, I need to say this. I said, because I think somebody else is feeling the same way. I said, when I clock in every single day into your building, I look at your name on the top of that sign on that building. That's your last name. Okay? Your last name is on the side of that building. Your signature is on my paycheck. Your signature is on all of my employee documents. Your last name. Okay? I work as an employee for your company. My last name is not on the outside of that building, so I can't come in here and tell you what to do with your business. And I appreciate the fact that you are even willing to even listen to what I have to say in regards to how you run your business, because I've been out in the corporate world and been with much bigger organizations, and they do not care who you are, let alone know your name. You're just an employee number. I said, so for anybody to come in and think that they can come in and tell you what to do, and I said this looking down at the floor because I really didn't want to look at this person, because I was ready to go outside with them. Your name is on that building. Not Johnson, not Williams, not Lang, I gave every single last name of that person that was in that room. I said, their names are not on the outside of that building. Your name is. And when they get their documents, their employee documents, their checks and everything else from this company, it's your signature on that line, not theirs. I said, so I appreciate you, allowing us to express ourselves in regards to our concerns with the company, because you want to expand and grow. But one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to do it in such a disrespectful way where it makes you feel inadequate because you hired me. See, people, that's humility. I'm not saying I wanted to be the man's slave or anything like that. I'm acknowledging what position I am in. And just because I said that to him, some people misinterpreted that and figured, oh, well, you bootlicking. It's not bootlicking, it's the truth. My name's not on the outside of that damn building. My name is not on the bottom of my paychecks and my documents and my employee documents. It's his name. I'm simply just bringing that truth, reminding people that you got to be careful how you address your concerns with folks. You can't come in there and say, oh yeah, when we have this meeting, I'm going to tell them this. You ain't going to tell nobody nothing. And half of the people who do that, they don't say shit when they get in the meeting. And the funny part about it is before we went into the meeting and this guy spoke up, everybody else was like, yeah, man, I got you back. Ain't nobody said shit when he opened up his mouth. They left his ass right out there to dry. all of a sudden, when the meeting was over and it was adjourned, he's like, okay, well, I respect that. Thank you very much. He said, I appreciate the input. You could have heard a pin drop. And I was like, and that's all I have to say. Anybody can feel whatever they want to feel, but when I come into the building every single day, my last name's not on that sign. And anybody else in this room is going to see that that their last name is not on that sign. So that's enough for me. Okay? And we went on with the meeting. But when the meeting was over with, all of a sudden, the owner and the owner's supervisor wanted to take him to the office. He got rolled up. I can't express myself at my job. Sure, if you're running a business, but just do it respectfully. That's all I'm trying to say. Some of y'all don't know how to communicate. That's literally biting the hand that feeds you. Be careful how you come across. And please don't be one of these people that think that you're going to create mutiny with the company and you're going to overthrow everything. Because you're going to overthrow your ass right on out the door. And them same people that say that they got your back and everything, when the rubber meets the road and you get into trouble, you think they're going to go in and go to bat for you. They ain't going to give up their dollars for you. It was a cute little idea, but when it came right down to it, and it involved their paychecks, oh no, man, and some of them even turn on them and say, oh, well, man, I told them not to say nothing. They were the main ones that talk about me. Yeah, man, you need to say something. You need to do this. And when you go into that meeting, I'm telling you, don't back down. I got your back. He's the only fool in there. Nobody said anything. So that's why I addressed that. So just be careful how you address things. If it's to the point where you're that frustrated, you need to go somewhere else. That person has something that you don't have. You're working for them. Okay? And there should be a certain amount of respect. And if you do have something else going on the side, that's great and that's wonderful. But when it's time for you to go clock in on your schedule, you should be able to go in and do your job that you were paid to do. People don't care about what happens after you leave. If you schedule from 9 to 5, you should be given 110% between 9 to 5 at that location doing what you're paid to do. At 5:01, it's your damn business. Okay? Whatever you're scheduled to do during that time, your energy and your focus should be on the task or the function that you have hired and paid to do. As long as you do that and you are respectful to the people that you are working with, you'll be just fine. You ain't got shit to worry about. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. Peace.